Thanks for logging on to MyFoxHurricane.com. So here's that next storm. A reminder, the hurricane season is not done yet. This is Subtropical Storm Nicole. You look at this and you're saying, what the heck? This does not look like a tropical system at all. And that's because it is not a tropical system. It is a subtropical. So it's not a purely tropical system, which really means it's kind of a hybrid system. It has some tropical characteristics. It has some characteristics that are not tropical. The actual center is located right in here, but the strongest winds are really over here somewhere. And just the structure, the overall structure of this storm, it's going to take some time, it looks like, and it does look like it will be transitioning towards that tropical characteristic and making this a tropical storm. And eventually this could become a hurricane just prior to landfall. So really kind of a complex setup here where you've got this, it's kind of interacting with an upper level trough. And that's why you just kind of see this elongated looking system at this point. But right now, the winds are at 45 miles an hour. It's moving to the northwest at 9 miles an hour. Watch as we go through the next couple of days. It's working its way to the northwest, is pushing down towards the west and eventually the southwest and kind of zigzagging back and forth. And then as it moves over towards the Bahamas, that's where some of these water temperatures, they really start to warm up. Remember, we've got the Gulf Stream coming up through here. So we're going to have warm water. We're going to have conditions that are favorable in the atmosphere as far as low wind shear. So really the ingredients are in place that we will quite likely see this starting to get better organized, structuring itself more as a tropical system and strengthening. That's why at this point, looking at this as a minimal hurricane prior to making landfall, and this looks like this will make landfall along the southeast coast of Florida as we head into Wednesday night. And then it weakens, and then we have this trough which will be digging down across the southeast, and that's going to help to turn this system and steer it yet in another direction. So as we go through the next few days, this system is basically going to be doing all kinds of turns and zigs and zags and all kinds of crazy things. So it's just really one of these things that we're going to have to watch. We're going to have to fine tune, because when you have this many turns involved, there's always that possibility that there's going to be more air in this. But computer models, at least at this point, are really in pretty good agreement. Now, we do have a hurricane watch that goes from the Volusia-Brevard County line all the way down towards, almost down towards Miami, Hallandale Beach. And with this system kind of transitioning, the wind field with this is going to be pretty large as well. We're already seeing that with this right now, just because the strongest winds are located away from the center. But watch our exclusive Fox model. As we go through the next few days, you start to see more and more of that consolidation of more of the storms right near the center. That's an indication that this is transitioning more into that tropical system. So here we are on Wednesday morning, becoming more and more tropical. Looks like that will probably happen over the next, say, 24 to 36 hours. And then once that's really complete, that really kind of opens the door for this system to strengthen even more. That's why we're expecting this by the time we get into Wednesday night, heading into early on Thursday, just prior to landfall. This is a tropical system. It is strengthening, and quite likely we're talking about a minimal hurricane. Now, the biggest threat with this, obviously we've got the heavy rain, we've got some wind with it as well, but it's going to be that storm surge that combined with the high tide cycle over on the other side of the state, especially down towards Miami, that really has the potential of causing some really big issues with that water, that surge along the east and southeastern coast. And then this will work its way across the state. So central Florida looking 2 to 4 inches of rain as this works its way through. So you look at the various computer models, the European, the GFS, and our own exclusive Fox model. You can see they're basically all sitting pretty much right on top of each other. So at this point, we're seeing very good agreement among the models. Good agreement, good consensus between the various models. That gives you fairly high confidence. Now, this is going to obviously still have to go through some fine tuning as we go through the next couple of days, just simply because of the nature of this storm. Since we're talking about a system that is transitioning and it's doing a lot of turns, you really have to kind of fine tune that forecast as we go through the next several days. But it's all really about that ridge that'll be to the north of it for the time being, which is going to steer it back towards that westerly direction. And then as that works its way out and a trough develops and pushes into the east, then that's what's going to turn this system back towards the north. But basically what we're talking about a strengthening storm to our east over the next couple of days here as it works its way in our direction. Along the east coast, we have that big potential of some pretty significant flooding because of the storm surge. That combined with the high tide cycle, the king tides over on that side of the state, that is going to cause some big issues. And then for us here in Tampa, we're looking at some pretty gusty winds, 40 to 50 miles an hour, and some pretty heavy rain, 2 to 4 inches of rain as it works its way through. So we're going to continue to watch this very closely, and we will keep you updated right here on MyFoxHurricane.com.